Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back at Beyond the Horizon, Pakistan's first smart thinking tank. Social media, a monopoly breaker. Social media is not evolution, it's happening. That's our subject. And so far, we have spoken on four parts. In four parts, we have spoken. In the first part, we talked about the definition of social media. In part two, we were talking about misconceptions of social media. And in part three, we talked about retrospect. We went into the history and we tried to find out what happened and how happened with internet and social media. And in part four, we were discussing about the miracles of social media and internet, where we give different examples about the miracles which has happened in our lives because of the social media and internet. And today we will be talking about our subject, impact of social media on human behavior. This is our part 5. Now here I have to remind you that this is a subject which has never been discussed before, which has never been talked about before, which has never been written about this subject in the past, anywhere in the world. So better be watchful, better be ready. What I'm going to explain you today is something very unique and being talked about for the first time in the world. So I'll be talking about 3 human behaviors which had this tremendous impact from the social media. Number one is choice of expressing individual opinion. The second is interactive capacity of human mind. And third is reactive capacity of human mind. So let's take the first one, choice of expressing individual opinion. Now let's go back 25 years ago and let's try to recall what were the choices which we had at that time to express our opinion. 25 years ago, if we wanted to express our opinion, it could be our social circle, it could be a letter to editor, and getting your letter published in letter to editor in a newspaper was a very big achievement. And when we used to have this kind of achievement, everybody could claim a lot of credit that my letter has been published in letter to editor. So this was basically the opinion choices. Then it could be a public survey, but maybe once in a lifetime when somebody reaches you and asks your opinion on a public survey and you could express. And then if you are even more luckier, then probably you are interviewed somewhere and you could express yourself. But even more longer expressing public opinion was elections, when we could give our opinion about the selection of a candidate to rule us. And it could happen after 5 years. So imagine the limitation of public choices, the choice of opinion which we could express in those areas. So I can say that public opinion was hostage to few media, political and elite groups in each region around the world. And truth was casualty and monopoly was lifestyle. That was the situation 25 years ago. And today, with extremely limited options of expressing individual opinion, came the revolution of social media. Today, more than 3 billion people can exercise individual opinion 24/7 through social media, with more outreach than any television channel or any newspaper. Social media gave us the freedom of absorbing, expressing and sharing opinion of our choice, and not the choice of fixed agenda or monopoly groups. Today we listen, read or speak freely through social media. Imagine over 300 billion tweets have been shared since 2006. This means over 300 billion opinions have been shared only on Twitter since 2006. Imagine the volume of opinions being shared among the human beings, among 3.4 billion people. Imagine the volume, which was never possible before. I would say that it's like deaf and dumb finally got voice and hearing simultaneously with the power of social media. We were the deaf and dumb because we couldn't hear anything, we couldn't listen anything, and we couldn't speak anything. But today we have this power that we can express our opinion anytime, anywhere, on any subject. Now let's come to the interactive capacity of human mind. First, I would like to explain you what is the interactive capacity of human mind. Every time human being sees, listens, speaks, or reads an information, his mind is engaged into a process of absorbing, evaluating, deliberating, questioning, answering, rejecting, accepting, challenging, and comparing it with his knowledge, likes, dislikes, biases, and background. So this is all about interactive capacity. This kind of human interaction with information is called interactive capacity of human mind. Now let's see what was the interactive capacity of human mind 25 years ago. We used to have one-way mass communications through television or radio. That means we could only listen or see, we could not express or contribute. So that was one form of interactive capacity of human mind. Then we could read a newspaper or a magazine. Then it was our own observations during the day when we were seeing things, so we were evaluating, rejecting, accepting, so we were interacting with everything around us. That was our own personal experiences and observations. Then we used to have a telephone landline, which either was at the office or at the office, but it was also a very rare thing where we could say something or listen something, express our opinion. So that was one way of interactive capacity. Then we had telegram in emergency, or we could have letter through the post office, or we could have a fax, and very rarely the satellite option was available. So let's calculate the interactive capacity of human mind 25 years ago based on these opportunities. So if a human mind, average human mind, I'm just taking this example hypothetically from an urban scenario. If he had a home landline like 5 calls, or if he was having another 10 calls in the offices, or he was having a few meetings, few letters, and sometimes telegram. So it was adding into few more reading session with the newspaper and magazines. Then we had this terrestrial one TV channel, so we could see maybe one entertainment program and one information program. Same goes to national radio, and few social visits and a lot of family talk. But this all made up like 50 interactions per day in an urban scenario. What is the situation today about our interaction? Let me remind you, we just said that what is interactive capacity? It is interacting with the information. So today we are interacting with the information through mobile phones, like maybe 30 calls a day, mobile SMS, maybe 30, 40 SMS, WhatsApp messages, 80, 90, 100, Facebook posts, 100, 200, Twitter, 50, 60, 70, YouTube, 10, 15, 20, and other social media forums, 20, 25. Google, we are looking for the information, we are receiving email, we are sending emails. Then we have television with 100 channels, and we have got that remote, and we are surfing through different channels and absorbing information from different channels. Then we have mobile television, that we can even see television while we are at mobile. Then we have social visits, few social visits, family talk, which has reduced now, the number of family talks. In all, it makes about 450 interactions per day. So imagine, interactive capacity of human mind has increased from 50 interactions per day to 450 interactions per day in 25 years. This is an increase of 900% or 9 times in human interactions in the last 25 years. Now let's come to the third human behavior which has changed tremendously. That is the reactive capacity of human mind. The reactive capacity of human mind, now let's imagine what it was like 25 years ago. That you used to write a proposal, a letter, and after preparing you would give it to the post office, and from there it would take maybe 10 days, 15 days, 20 days to reach to the other destination. Then this proposal, this letter, this content is read by somebody, and then he would take a few days to write his response, and then he would give it to the post office, and then is it going through that cycle. So it was like 40 days cycle of exchanging information. So what does it mean? It means that there was 40 days space between action and reaction. And this 40 days space was making us very comfortable. And we could live a life of comfort and stress-free with this kind of space, which is not available today. Today, what is the situation? That we prepare a proposal on our computer, and then we send it on the email to the destination, and the other side would read it in a few minutes and send you back either approval, or it is comments, or it is feedback, or it is rejection, or whatever. So it is coming back to you in a few minutes, and that means your reaction space was only few minutes before you are back on the work. And this reaction space was luxury 25 years ago. And this reaction space has now reduced from months and weeks to minutes and seconds. Now this needs to be understood very clearly for us. Now there is a very interesting aspect that the human mind, chemically or biologically, 25 years ago, it was same. And it is same today. But there is a great deal of change in the interaction, the reaction, and the expressing of opinion since then. And it has increased tremendously, many folds. Now, from where to get this kind of space which can make us survive? Now, this is a question which we need to explore, and we need to find out the right balance. The frequency and number of actions, reactions, interactions, and public sharing has increased tremendously in 15 years. Increased interaction of human mind has occupied major space of 24 hours, resulting compromise in relationship, increase of stress, reduced reaction time, and turning human mind to work more like a machine as compared to human mind in 1990. So a balance between the productive aspect of social media and human relationship will help us to continue to act as a human being, and at the same time maintaining productivity level like a machine. So there is a battle between the roles of human beings and machines. Let's win this battle for human beings, but with the help of machines. So I would request you that if you have not seen the previous part 4, you must see them so that you can have a very clear understanding about social media and how to live and survive and grow in this digital age. And continue with us, and see you very soon in part 6.